Pretty fast and easy video today. I had this idea after having watched Mel the Terrain Tutor do spray foam hills a long time ago. The concept of using spray foam to make terrain stuck in the back of my head, and today I finally found a use for it. So having done some experiments, you need to use something that is akin to a tree armature. You want some underlying structure for the spray foam to adhere to that makes it look like it's growing out from a branch that helps to give it that fluffy branch feeling. That being said, as an accident, I found that if you sprayed just some sticks, you got a pretty decent rocks and cliffs effect. And just look how durable this stuff is. Talk about table ready. And I just can't believe how nice this turned out almost immediately. If you needed a whole bunch of trees on the table in 2 hours, I have a feeling you could use this technique and have it be done. That being said, I will be putting a little more effort into this to give it some flocking. So this concept was me just experimenting with how to use these translucent spray cans. See if I can mix them. If I was adding green to red, my theory was that it would make a kind of brown undercoat. Doesn't seem to. I went over it with a black. Also was pleased to find that while I can't really mix the colors that well with translucent spray paint, I can turn the flock into whatever I want. A quick spray of yellow helps to completely transform the way the flock appears, which is nice for not having to have 18 different types of flock for different colors. I'm almost positive that if you did this project yourself, you wouldn't need to do any of this undercoating with the spray paint. You just hit with black, assuming that you're flocking it. While the foam can be teared, it does leave behind a slightly different and more soft foam texture behind when it's torn, so I would encourage not tearing it more than you have to. Tried a couple different ways of getting the flocking on there. The first go to flocking was just honestly letting it on the paint, letting the paint drying lock the flocking in. It turned out pretty well. The flocking didn't look quite right because it's the fine flocking, so I got some coarse flock to make the appearance a little bit better. At first, I tried using the basing glue from Geek Gaming Scenics, which, while an awesome product, wasn't quite the right product for this. I also tried using some diluted PVA, which theoretically was good, but I kept making a mess everywhere, and my spray bottle isn't really spraying a good mist. It sprays like little sheets. That being said, look at that's not too bad. And then busting out the big guns, the 3M spray glue, which worked a treat. I tried giving that one armature a little bit different of a color than the other one to imply they are two different trees. Not sure how effective it was, but I liked the thought. Once I figured to tilt this thing over and just rock tumble it, it was a very easy flocking method. Look at that, that was about what? 10 seconds, 15 seconds? And you got a flocked tree. I think it looks as good as Woodland Scenics pre-made trees, personally. Had to go through some colors on this. Didn't have a reference point for what I wanted the cliffs to look like. I just knew I wanted some flock on part of it to be like moss and the rest of it to be wet seaside cliffs. Tan color was not the thing, neither was this bluish gray. I didn't worry about it too much though. I figured it would add some richness and variety once I actually got the color I wanted, which it did once I finally got to this dark, almost black gray. Finally actually looked up a picture of what seaside cliffs look like. Dry brushing is often a sort of magical step. It reveals a lot of texture you couldn't otherwise see. But with these cliffs especially, it just transformed them. They instantly became rock in my mind's eye. And again, this is just spray foam with some sticks in it to help give it some structure. I noticed these happen to kind of puzzle piece together, so I thought, why not? It'll make it better terrain for obscuring, make a clear wall of trees. This gave me an idea, and I think it's probably going to be my next video. The concept of, instead of having one little tree sculpture that you've put a lot of effort in by twisting wires and molding clay and everything else, having a quick forest that's actually a wall that could be fully used as normal blocking, obscuring terrain. Real life, you look at the edge of a forest where the forest edge is kept clear, it's a wall. You can barely distinguish individual trees. But until then, that's all I got for you. Pretty happy with it turned out. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll let it spin for you. See you next time.